A Roaring Guest List is one of two new starter decks arriving with Shimmering Skies, featuring the disruptive ink combination of Emerald and Steel. Let's take a look at the deck and talk about the best strategies to use when playing it, whether you're playing with friends or you're planning to pick it up for your next sealed tournament. Let's go. Shimmering Skies has really doubled down on the support for the Emerald Steel damage archetype, and that's even more clear with this starter deck. Many of the cards we'll be seeing here either ping damage or take advantage of your opponent's damaged characters. A Roaring Guest List features 47 characters, 11 actions, of which 3 are songs, and 2 locations. The deck has a healthy amount of inkable cards at 52, with just 8 uninkables. Unique for Shimmering Skies, this deck exclusively features cards from this set, so every card will be something new and really increases the overall value of the deck. So let's get into the strategy. As mentioned, this deck puts a heavy emphasis on Emerald Steel's damage archetype, looking to disrupt your opponent and take advantage of their damaged characters. There is no one main piece for this deck, unlike what we saw with the starter decks from Ursula's Return. Instead, there are multiple strong characters which effectively leverage the gameplay and synergies this deck wants to explore. Shenzi, Head Hyena, is the perfect example of this. Sadly, the deck only features one copy of her, but once in play, her What Have We Got Here ability will gain you 2 lore every time a Hyena character challenges a damaged character. And with 9 Hyenas in total in this deck, pulling off this combo may not be too difficult. Similarly, Robin Hood, Archery Contestant, will net you 1 lore if he's played when your opponent has a damaged character. More characters there to take advantage of your opponent's damaged characters include 2 more Robin Hoods. Robin Hood, Sneaky Sleuth, gains 1 lore for each opposing damaged character in play, and being a Floodborn, you should definitely look to shift him to catch your opponent unaware. Robin Hood, Timely Contestant, on the other hand, costs 1 less for each 1 damage on opposing characters. To really take advantage of him, try to load your opponent's characters with damage first, then get him into play cheaply. Robin is a big body who can quest aggressively to help you close out the game. When it comes to putting damage on characters, outside of simply challenging characters, you have a few options. The most straightforward one is Tug of War, allowing you to deal 1 damage to each opposing character without evasive, or 3 damage to each opposing character with evasive. However, with only 1 copy in the deck, and being one of the few ways to deal with the other starter deck's evasive characters cleanly, you may want to hold on to it. Yzma, Unjustly Treated's I'm Warning You ability allows you to, during your turn, deal 1 damage to chosen character whenever one of your characters banishes another character in a challenge. Again though, at just 1 copy, you'll definitely want to hold on to her to make use of her ability turn after turn. Finally, 2 copies of Food Fight allow you to give your characters the ability to exert to deal 1 damage. This is a card best played later in the game when you have a wide board to really take advantage of it. All of these cards combined give you some tools to start really taking advantage of Emerald's damage synergies. And when it comes to those cards, there are some really fun options. Ed, Laughing Hyena, lets you deal 2 damage to a damaged character when he's played, while Banzai, Taunting Hyena, allows you to exert a chosen damaged character when he's played. Both of these incredibly helpful unplay abilities can give you some huge value, so choose the right time to play them. Another Ed, Hysterical Partygoer, can't be challenged by damaged characters. With his high lore, you can keep your opponent's characters damaged in order to quest for high amounts turn after turn. Outside of the core strategy, this deck comes with plenty of disruption tools to help slow your opponent down. The location, Tropical Rainforest, gives opposing damaged characters Reckless, slowing them down to prevent their ability to quest. While the action Night Howler Rage lets you give Reckless to a chosen character on their next turn. Conversely, When Will My Life Begin prevents a character from challenging. Comboing these different actions and abilities can potentially lock a character out of being able to do anything on their next turn at all. Since you'll be playing lots of cards, you will need to refill your hand. Scar, Vengeful Lion, is a powerful draw engine in this deck. Trying to get him in play as soon as possible will ensure you have the gas you need to keep up with your opponent. And be sure to take full advantage of his ward ability, and avoid exerting him unless you know he's safe. Ready to Let Loose, the other starter deck, does have a few rush characters at their disposal, so bear that in mind, and either protect Scar with bodyguards, or just keep him readied. Outside of Scar, Simba, Lost Prince, lets you draw a card whenever he banishes a character in a challenge, and when combined with Scar, can net you 2 cards. There's also Hypnotic Deduction, which allows you to draw 3 cards, then put 2 cards from your hand onto the top of your deck. Playing this early in the game can help improve your ink curve, or later in the game to find answers you need to your opponent's board. Other powerful cards to look out for include Kronk, Head of Security, who will allow you to play a cost 5 or less character for free if he banishes a character in a challenge. And with Kronk, Unlicensed Investigator in the deck, he could be shifted in to use that ability even sooner. And this deck also includes Pete, Game's referee, who, when played, prevents your opponent from playing actions until the start of their next turn. This is one of the best cards coming out of Shimmering Skies, and played at an opportune time can really help you close out the game. When it comes to your opening hand and altering cards, like all starter decks, the focus should be on having a good curve of ink costs, so you always have something to play each turn. This deck is looking to play the long game, and certain cards only really pay off after a few turns. Because of that, focus on getting more straightforward cards in your opening hand. Rudy, Kronk, Little John, and so on are all good options. Scar is another great card to hold on to if you find him in your opening hand, to really push the card advantage. While a card like Hypnotic Deduction is a great way to help you filter through your deck to find the key pieces you need. And with so many inkable cards in this deck, you shouldn't have any issues with ink, so you can alter cards quite aggressively to find what you need. And that's our guide to a roaring guest list. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit the like button on your way out, and if you're looking for a strategy guide for the Ruby Amethyst starter deck ready to let loose, we'll have one up for you very soon, so be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay in the loop. We'll also have gameplay of both decks as soon as they're released. And as always, a huge, massive shout out to our YouTube members. Thank you so much for supporting us, it really helps us improve the quality of the channel. And if you're interested in becoming a member, you can hit the join button down below for all the details. And until next time, happy questing.